Talent is Talent LMS. So today we're going to go over just a high level overview, showing you some of the different features. And we're going to focus on how easy and how intuitive it is to use. So this is what we kind of want to focus on. And there were some great questions that I already received this morning from the team at Amber. So of course, I've been working closely with them going into the webinar to make sure that we can get everything answered for everyone. So my plan for the questions that have already come in, what I wanted to do was go through, I'm going to share my screen in just a few moments, and I'm going to go through of some of the things that you can do on the platform, which will touch on some of those questions. And I'll give a brief overview about the questions after, just to highlight some of the high level information that people would like to hear. And then, of course, feel free to put any questions in the chat, and we can have a short, nice Q&A afterwards. And of course, if there's anything that you need, after, just reach out to Amber so that we can, get the answers that you need. So I appreciate everyone joining, and the main purpose is to show some of these features that really, one of the things someone already said was a lot of the LMSs have similar features. Of course, yes, they do. You are correct. However, today I'm going to show you some of the things, some of the differences that really make the difference of why Talent LMS it would be, possibly a really good selection for you. So just before I share my screen, there's a couple of points that I wanted to touch on. Many of our customers from many industries, they're using our product for internal training as well as external training with some of their partners, and as well as commercial e-learning. So if you're also selling courses to partners, customers, students, learners, whoever they are. So if any of those fit for you, perfect. We can cover you on all three of those. And as you'll see, once I bring up the my screen, Talent LMS, it's very easy to use. It's customizable. You can customize different things, and it's also ready as well on a mobile app. So if you have a need for your team to be training on a mobile app, it also works in this sense. And we also have lots of different integrations, which were some of the questions that came in. So I'll touch high level on that as well. So I'll go ahead and pop my screen up now. Just let me make sure I'm choosing the right one here. All right, everyone can see it, I'm sure. So this is the customizable homepage. So before you even log in, if learners were to, the end user goes to get into Talent LMS, this is essentially what they would see. So everything here is customizable. The headlines, the tabs up here, the photos, the buttons. You can even showcase some of your courses. So if you're selling courses, for example, feel free to do that as well. So the main point is this is customizable. It's very easy. It's very intuitive. I'm not really too much of a tech person myself, and I've been able to, get really good at using the platform. So always keep that in mind. So now this is I'm sure many people here, they're probably going to be administrators of the portal, and that means that you're going to be setting up courses, uploading users, doing all kinds of things like this. So this would be the main screen when you log in. And we're going to cover a bit about some different roles here. We have three main roles: the administrator, the instructor, and the learner. So the administrator, they're the ones who pretty much implement the whole portal. So upload courses, users, build learning paths, things like this. And instructors are there to create courses. And they're going to be uploading courses most likely. And learners, they're going to be the end user using the platform and taking in the content that you created. So a couple things with while we're on the main screen here is you can have um, customizable user types. So let's say you want to have an instructor and you don't want them to have certain capabilities. So all this is customizable here. It's very easy. So let's say you don't want them to have certain reports that they can be a part of. You would just go in and unclick what kind of reports that they wouldn't be a part of. So you could also create very customizable user types. So if you had different needs, then that could happen right here. The main thing when setting up, we make it very easy for you. The main thing here is we have two ways to kind of segment the learners. So we have something called branches, and we have something called groups. So this makes it very easy for you not to get lost in all the features because there's only two choices. So with branches, it's a completely separate login, everything. So it's going to be made off the subdomain. So many customers, they use this. Common use cases are things like different departments, different languages, internal or external training. If they want to have all their employees, let's say, on the main portal, and then they can have all of the external training on the other portal. So a branch, it has its own look and feel. So of course, this one, you can see the look and feel here, the Talent LMS logo, the colors, all of this. So I myself, I'm a part of a sales branch. So if we click over to that, as you can see, we can customize everything here to have a different look and feel of the branch. And if someone's an administrator of a branch, they would have access to creating groups, courses, they can add users, and they would have access to all the reports. So if you do segment things off on branches, just keep that in mind. And the other way that we segment off learners is groups. And the really good thing about a group is, let's say you have 200 people in your company and everyone needs to do onboarding training. You could add them to a group. These are just some examples of names here of different groups that we've set up to show you. You could add them to, let's say, a new hire group. And as soon as you import all 200 people to this group, they would automatically get assigned the courses. So it would take a few minutes once you import all the users. It's very intuitive and it's very easy to use. The other things that are important to a lot of our customers is automating parts of the process and also sending notifications. So you can set up emails to users with notifications, and you can set up different ones. It's very easy to use. Let's say we want to welcome everyone to the portal. So when they get created here, and then you could filter it by branches if you want. However, you always want to just select the related user. The top line is the subject line of the email they're going to get. And then we're going to have these smart tags that we can use. So hello and their first name. You can log in here and have the site URL, for example. And you can preview these before sending out, and all you do is click create notification, and then these will go to all the users. So once you set these up with all these different actions that we have them for, you'll never have to set them up again. And if we go to automations are essentially different ways that we can um, automate parts of the process. So this makes it very easy for the administrator to use. So let's say we're setting up a learning path. And after 1 hour after someone completes, let's say the general course, they can then go on to this course. So any learner that completes this, they'll automatically be assigned this. So there's no need for an administrator to, watch over anything. Um, it all happens while we're not even logged into the system. So once we create it once, that's it. So it's very intuitive, very easy to use. You're just essentially selecting what you want to do here, and then you would choose the options here. And they work automatically in the background. So we're going to go to the instructor just to show how easy it is to possibly set up a course. And then after that, we'll look at some reporting. So if people have certain KPIs that they want to meet, we can take a look at that as well. So we have this course. So fire safety awareness, just a general course. Now, if you're an instructor, this is how easy it is to add a unit. You would select what type of unit of content you want here. And then you can either upload the file, type in what you need, and all of that. So these are the types of units we have. We have a content unit where you could add images and different text that you've created, web content. So if you wanted to embed a website, video, audio, so presentation documents, if you have any PowerPoints or anything like that, as well as more interactive learning. So things like SCORM, and you can embed the tests and everything in there as well. Then we also have ways for blended learning, so the learner can interact a bit more. So tests, surveys, this is a way for you to gather feedback. And you can also have assignments. So an assignment, you can give the learner something to do to see that they've grasped the concepts. And then as an instructor, you would go in and grade all the assignments. As well, if we have instructor-led training. So of course, this has gotten really big over the last several years. So you can integrate your web conferencing tool. So things like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, whatever it is that you use, you can integrate it here and have learners have the meeting on their calendar so they would know exactly when to join the meeting. And you can also set up classroom training as well. So it's very easy to create a unit. So let's say we want to create a video. You can choose how you want it to be completed. So let's say the video is 4 minutes and we don't want them to leave the unit early. We want to make sure they watch all of it. We could put 240 seconds. And then we can upload a video here. We can put a link from YouTube, or we can also use a presentation. And once we put it there, we just do save and view, and we're done. That's how easy it is to set up the different units of the course. Now, Talent LMS is set up so the content is actually created outside of the system. We don't necessarily have a full authoring tool yet. We have something in beta at the moment where we're using AI to create different content style units with different questions and things like this. So if you do sign up, if you are interested in more, and you can always get a free account, and then you can test these types of things out if that's something that you want to do, because it's in beta. It does work. I've tested it. It's just not fully completely out yet, so I don't want to show necessarily something that we haven't fully launched, but you can test it if you get a free account. So the instructors, they're also going to have rules and path, so they can select the rules for the course, basically. So how do we show the units? what units need to be completed. It's literally very easy, just clicking, certain buttons. And they can also see who's completed the course, all with the click of a button as well, all with the sidebar here. But the main thing with the instructor is they're going to be uploading content, and as you saw, that's very intuitive and very easy to use. So if we go to the learner quickly, it does look very similar, let's say, to the instructor. However, the thing with the learner, these are categories of courses. So they're going to have it displayed like this. And learners can also go to the overall course catalog. So let's say you have 200 courses. If you want to have them in the catalog to where the learner can browse and choose the courses, you can. It'll display like this. And the learner can then, for example, click to get the course here. You can also hide courses from the catalog. The good thing about learners is they also can see all their progress and everything here. So for the end user, it's also very easy because people are interested in these types of things, how long they've been training. And so they can look at all their stats, their certificates, and all of this as well, what courses they have, how much they've completed. And they can also see all the activities they've done when they've logged in and everything here. So it's very easy for the learner as well to click around and figure things out. Really, there's not too much training that even has to go into that. So one of the main things that people do want to see, because this is one of the things that's automated and very easy to use as well, is reports. So we have an extensive reporting suite. We have all the names of the reports here, user reports, course reports, and all of this. So for example, a course report, we can go to one of them here. They're going to display information about the users. So just with the click of a button, you can find all the users who's completed the course, what the score was, how long it took, all of these different things. You can, of course, export this here to Excel, and you can also schedule reports. So you don't even have to go in and look. You would just do that with the click of a button to schedule the report here. So let's say a manager needs to see a report every Wednesday here. So every week on Wednesday, you just type in their email, for example, mine, and I would get the report. So once you schedule it, you wouldn't have to go back and always find the report. You would get an email every week with that schedule. It can also be, bi-weekly, every 3 weeks, whatever it is to meet your needs, and you'll have a list of all the scheduled reports here.
Okay, Alex.
Yeah.
Okay, let me summarize the best for everyone. Okay. Các anh chị ơi, như là Alex vừa mới có chia sẻ ạ, thì những cái phần vừa rồi mà anh ấy có chia sẻ trên màn hình ấy, thì em xin tóm tắt theo ý hiểu của em là những cái mà anh ấy đoạn đầu tiên thì là anh ấy đang chia sẻ về những cái slide đầu. Alex, please share the dashboard of LMS. Overview the LMS. Thì như là cái màn hình đầu tiên mà anh Alex anh ấy vừa có chia sẻ ạ, thì đấy là những cái overview của cái dashboard này. Thì nó là những cái tính năng cơ bản mà của một cái LMS đều có. Thì ở đây thì sẽ có những cái tính năng đầu tiên như là add người học này, rồi làm báo cáo hoặc là những cái và hiển thị những cái khóa học ấy ạ. Sau đấy thì anh ấy có chia sẻ về những cái cài đặt của admin cho một học viên mới khi vào thì họ sẽ có thể truy cập cũng như là sử dụng những cái khóa học trên cái phần mềm như thế nào. Tiếp theo sau thì trên cái LMS này thì sẽ có những cái những cái hình thức để add khóa học cũng như là sử dụng hình ảnh và tạo video ở ở trên cái phần mềm LMS. Thì ở ở đây thì mình có thể sử dụng các bài giảng qua Zoom hoặc là ở Teams, thì có thể tích hợp vào cái phần mềm LMS này để có thể quản lý chung trên một hệ thống. Và như anh ấy vừa có có cái chia sẻ mà mà Tùng có nói, đấy là một tính năng mới, đấy là có thể sử dụng AI để tạo nội dung khóa học. Thì nếu mà các anh chị có quan tâm đến tính năng này ạ, thì mọi người có thể đăng ký. Thì bên Talent LMS này mọi người các bên họ sẽ có thể cung cấp cho mình được một vài những cái tài khoản miễn phí để các anh chị có thể trải nghiệm thử. Tiếp theo thì như gần nhất mà Alex có chia sẻ thì đấy là màn hình mà một cái giao diện học tập, mà một cái khóa học mà học viên có thể nhìn thấy. Thì mọi người có thể nhìn thấy cái tiến độ hoặc là thời gian học viên đang tham gia học, và tiếp theo sau là những cái báo cáo mà người quản lý hoặc là học viên có
Đấu
thể
giá.
dạ, nếu mà em nghe chưa đúng thì em xin góp ý của anh chị ạ.
À không, chắc là anh nào đó bật nào nhầm mic thôi, mà mình cứ tiếp tục đi ạ.
Vâng ạ. Đến chia sẻ màn hình gần nhất của Alex thì là đang nói về các cái báo cáo mà có thể nhìn thấy ở trên LMS khi mà chúng ta quản lý học viên ạ. Em xin tóm tắt cái phần trước của Alex đang chia sẻ, và bây giờ thì chúng ta có thể tiếp tục nghe phần trình bày của Alex ạ. Ok Alex.
Chị Ly ơi, em muốn nhờ chị chuyển đến Alex giúp em với. Bởi vì phần vừa rồi Alex đang chia sẻ rất nhiều các tính năng ấy, mà thực sự là nếu như mà một người không biết gì về LMS mà ngồi nghe vừa rồi chắc là cũng get lost mất. Cho nên là mình sẽ cần phải nhấn mạnh hơn là những cái tính năng đấy, trong đấy thì cái tính năng nào để giải quyết cái vấn đề gì cho cái đặc thù công việc của doanh nghiệp, cũng như là cái nào là cái quan trọng mà chúng ta cần phải lưu ý ấy. Vì nếu mà anh ấy cứ chia sẻ như này thì chắc là cả cái Zoom mình cũng get lost hết cả cả team luôn. Chị nhắn anh giúp em nha. Vâng.
Alex, please share a detail about the feature of LMS.
Okay.
They want you so more detail more.
Okay. Yeah. So one of
Yeah, because
the
the MS has many feature, so that if we show this feature and second feature and third feature, so we feel that we are going to get lost. Yeah, and then you can show that which feature is the best important, is the most important, and why it's important for L&D, and which feature is optional for L&D. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let me just let me show one more thing that with the reports that I think would be really helpful, especially for what you just said for L&D. So we also have custom reports. So this means that we can make our own rules for the reports. So for example, this is a common one. Let's say we want to know every learner that we have for the learning and development department that has a certificate. So you put the name and then whatever the rule is here. So we want to know who has a certificate for whatever courses, and we could put as many as we want. And then we get to decide what the output is on the actual spreadsheet. So when we're done, it actually shows up uh, like this. So we can export it in Excel, or we can have all of them here. Now, the good thing about this is, let's say this person has got a certificate, they've taken all the courses, and we don't necessarily need to have them have an active seat in the training portal anymore. So what we could do, we don't necessarily need to delete them because we would still want to keep all their data and everything. So with the click of a button, just one click, we can go to deactivate. So this allows us to do it to all users. It's called mass actions. Deactivate, and then it says to confirm. So then we could all technically deactivate all these users if we wanted to. We could also do any of these things here, send them all a message, enroll them to a new course, unroll them from course, remove them, add them to a branch. So we have many options here. And I think this makes it very easy by creating your own rules, how you can easily, you know, do things with custom reports. So if you have specific KPIs and things that you need to meet, you can do that by creating custom reports. So, like Tung was saying, there's lots of features in each LMS, whether or not it's Talent LMS or any other one. The important thing to focus on, I think, is what features are going to be, most important for you. Because I know someone asked the question. About how does this fit into the whole educational strategy and all this, and having an LMS to fit all this would depend on, of course, the size of the company, and it also can depend on who's actually making the decision. So is it the L&D department, or is it HR, or is it IT, for example? And then from there, they would need to choose, what fits best with them. So one of the comments was maybe, what CRM or something like this. And yes, Talent LMS, we can do these types of integrations with different tools. So of course, HR, if they're making the decision, they want to make sure that it integrates with the HR tool and CRM and things like this. So we need to think at a high level. What data do we actually need from these integrations, and who is going to be actually tracking this information? Because if we know those two answers, then we can set up specific reports that gathers this specific data for us, all in the few clicks of a button. So that was a really good question that someone asked as well about the LMS and just what one would we really want to choose with our other tools in mind. And another one was maybe what would be, this is something else to think about, which features would really break through, or what some of the features are similar on different LMS. And yes, they are. However, you need to think of your specific needs, your organization, your specific goals. Maybe you're an administrator who needs specific reports. So if we can meet this specific need, then of course it would be the solution for you. Or maybe your learners need to see certain types of content and have it really be easy for them to use. So this is also something to consider. And as far as some breakthrough things and things on the next year, like I said, we are working on some different things right now that are in beta using AI and things like this. So as these things come out in the coming year in 2024, we can definitely share more information. It's more about finding the feature that we have that's going to fit your specific need. And we find that most customers with Talent LMS, with it being easy to use and implement and set up, and with the reporting, it meets most of the organization's needs, depending, of course, on the size of the company and what you actually want to do with it. So those were a few different questions that people asked. Should I touch on some other points or questions, guys, that anyone asked? Or any specific thing in here?
Okay, thank you, Alex. You have question, Miss Anle have question for you. She asked, there are really a lot of in the chat. You can see,
Yeah.
she want you show either and say about the most important and the rules they play in the process.
Yeah, this is a really good question because a lot of people do wonder the same thing. So the good thing is it's easy essentially to implement the portal and set it up from day one. You just want to figure out how many users you're going to need, what courses, of course, they're going to need to go to, and we have a really handy system that we can also show you on how to implement the portal as well. As far as important features, of course, for the instructor, it's the ease of use of really creating and uploading the courses. For the administrator, it's a way to set up reports, notifications, and automation, so they have to do things only one time with that report, and then they can continuously get it without always logging into the system to wonder if everything's working okay, because once you set it up, it will be. And for the learners, it's just having a good experience with blended training. So a learner probably doesn't necessarily want to watch a course of just videos. So we offer them plenty of different options to use. So the first thing you want to think about is how you want to implement the portal, who needs to go to, what group and get what courses. And then from there, it's just setting up a few reports and automations and notifications as well. So I would probably focus on, as an administrator, I'd focus on getting all the users in there, setting up the automations, notifications, and reports, and go from there. You can always tweak things as you go. However, we've found for even enterprise organizations with, let's say, 1,000 users or more, that they can pretty much get the portal up and running in about 8 to 12 weeks. So it's relatively quick. And then after that, it wouldn't take too much time or investment on your end.
And you can show it on the platform.
Show which part? Yeah, because I touched on the notifications, automations, and the reports already. So, but as far as like getting all the users in the system, for example, we have an import feature. So you can have an Excel file. So we have a sample file that you can use, and we show you exactly how to set up the columns on the Excel file. And once you do that, so for example, let's say we're trying to add a bunch of users to a group here. We would put their login name and the group number. So once, let's say, we import 100 users to that group, just with the spreadsheet putting in only this information, they'll automatically all be assigned all the courses. For example, you would just copy and upload it here. So this is one other thing that's very easy to use. Do we have any other questions? Let's see, someone else put something in here. And I also
hey,
wonder
Alex,
how we can tell which feature.
Would you like to answer the question now, or answer in the Q&A section?
I think I don't have too much more to show, because I wanted to give a high level overview. So I'm good to answer different questions now.
Okay. And I see in the chat box that Miss Anle, she also wonder how we can tell which feature should be compulsory and which feature is just nice to have. And it would be really nice if you can explain it with an example.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. This
Yeah.
is a really good question. Thanks so much for asking. So I would say that what I kind of just went over as well, the things that are definitely, I would say, compulsory would be reports, because if you need to gather data, you need to have reports. Um, for example, especially, so a good example, let's say that we have a customer, which we have many that need to do reoccurring compliance training that's required, let's say by the state or the government or something like this. So they're gonna need to have those reports every year to turn in to show that, hey, all these learners, they've completed the courses, and on that sheet they can also have all their certificates, for example. So this is definitely something you want to have. I would say notifications, just because it gives the learner a good experience that they can be notified of certain things. So pretty much most of the things I've showed, I would say they're must haves to make it easy on the learner and the instructor and administrator as well. But I'd say reporting, if you need data, is mandatory. Branches, they're not necessarily, uh, it could be a nice to have depending on the use case. So, for example, let's say we have a big customer and they have a lot of external partners, and they want them to each have their own domain where they log in with their own theme, with their own company logo, all of this. So for them, yes, it would be mandatory. Let's say we have a customer though who doesn't have this. They wouldn't necessarily maybe use branches if they didn't need anyone to log in on a separate use case. So that would be an example of that. So I don't know if we need to check if that answers their question, Inley. Then we have another question here. What makes Talent LMS different from other LMS systems? I would say the the difference that makes the difference. Of course, I touched on the ease of use of many things, but I think the difference that makes the difference is the how clean and how simple and how easy it is for the learner to experience what they're doing. So the actual experience of the user is, uh, I think, much easier in this system. It's very intuitive. This is a lot of the feedback. So I think this is the main difference that makes the difference, because with features being the same, it's how is everything uh, laid out. As you saw the learner dashboard here, it's very easy to, you know, see everything, get to everything they need just by logging in and clicking on the courses, clicking on their progress. So it's very simple for them to see everything. So I would say this is the main uh, difference that really makes the difference there. So if I answered your question, great. If you have another comment, need more explanation, definitely let me know. And I think we had something else. Hi, Alex, you mentioned about AI feature earlier. How does it look like and how does it help? Okay. So what I would recommend, because I don't want to necessarily show too much of this. So essentially, it has Chat GPT embedded in there with it. So um, what you can do, it's actually we have a different interface as well that's currently in beta too. So let me see if it loads. So this is the beta version of the learner. So it's going to have a different look. It's more like the streaming services, for example. as opposed to, so it's a bit of a different layout. The sidebar is here instead of on the right. But let's say we have an instructor, and let's say I want to create a course. So if I go to the talent craft, so this is the AI. I can generate a content unit with AI, or I can start from scratch and use some different little templates. But let's say these. So it just takes a minute or two to add the content, for example. And of course, you'd want to go through and edit the text and do all these things. Of course, it'll have different, but this is how it goes. It'll create images. It'll create quotes. So this takes just a couple of minutes. So it's something like this is how it would look. And if you wanted to test this out for yourself, you of course could sign up for a free account. You would go to the beta version and have access to this. But that's how quickly it can create a unit. Of course, you would want to go in and edit everything yourself. That's how it looks, though. So far, it's in beta, so just keep that in mind. But it creates a nice heading, everything like this for you. So this is how it currently looks. So if that's something you're interested in, because like I said earlier, most of the content, it's all created outside of Talent LMS. However, if someone in the L&D department wanted to create their own content using this, they certainly could, using the beta version, and in the future, once we fully launch it. Okay, someone said, wow, it's cool. Thank you. Yeah, so that's that. So I don't know if there's any other questions that anyone has.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. I think we can go next. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't think I have too much else to show on the system. However, if anyone, of course, wants to start testing some different things out, then you guys of course can send a follow-up email to all the attendees, and you can show them how to get a free account, so then of course they can start testing this out for themselves. This is what I would recommend, just so they can see it and get a good feel as they go through some content and things like this. So I think that's important, so they can see how easy and intuitive it is to learn themselves, because everyone of course learns in a different way. So people who just like to see things, of course they were fulfilled today. They saw some different things. People who actually want to get in there and do it, like myself, that's what I would recommend, because that's how I remember and really get the joy of using it. So thanks everyone for coming. If there's no other questions, I appreciate everyone taking a look at Talent LMS and getting to know us. Let's see. Someone, I think someone typed in another question.
Yeah, you have new question in the chat box.
Yeah. What are some common issues
that you see people encounter when using LMS system and how the talent LMS system LMS have addressed such issue?
Okay. Yeah, a lot of the things that I hear feedback from various uh, customers is they have a lot of issues with reporting the data that they need. So once they get in there and test some different reports, and they actually see that they're getting all the data they need so they can meet all the KPIs, I would say this is a big one, as well as a lot of other LMS. It may not be as easy for the learner to really focus and just focus on the learning, because it might be more difficult to use. So I would say that would be another difference that really makes the difference for them. So those are two that I see quite a bit, as well as for the instructor. For example, it's very easy for them to set up courses. So I would say this is a big difference. We hear a lot of feedback about how difficult it is to use other systems, and most of the time, with a few clicks of the button, like you saw, you can get everything that you could possibly need. So I hope that answers your question.
Hey Alex, I have a question from the form. Yeah, the question is, when you have never implemented an LMS before, what information do you need to find out?
Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. So you need to find out a few different things. You just need to know the number of users, and you'll need to figure out like the overall structure where the users will go. Are you going to segment them off, let's say, in groups, or are you going to have them in separate learning environments like branches? And once you figure out how to segment them off, then you would add different, courses to where you want them to go. And then you can put the users in those segments, and they could be given all the courses um, automatically. So it's really setting up kind of like the structure of the organization. So it could differ. However, maybe the structure of the organization needs things a certain way, or certain learners or departments together. So you can kind of mirror the structure of the organization as well as you're setting it up. And we also have a nice couple of pages for any customer that needs, what exact steps to follow, let's say, when implementing the portal. We have a nice PDF handout that is easy to follow, steps that they can also follow if they've never done something like this before. So we have something for them to use as well.
Oh, and what information you need to select the feature of LMS?
One of the, I would say, to know what features to use, you would need to know, of course, what data you're going to need. So depending on what data you need, this would determine what reports that you're really um, going to need. If it's for some sort of compliance training, you would also want to know, that would determine if you may need certificates or not. You'd want to have the people in the organization, their information, and once you have their information, you could then import them into the system. And overall, you would just want to know, of course, what they need to learn, and then that would help you with creating the courses and putting the right people in the courses. I would say on a high um, level, of course, with each organization's needs, they would need to decide exactly what would be most important as far as data and things like that to gather.
Yeah, thank you, Alex.
Yeah, thank you.
Các anh chị ơi, ai có câu hỏi gì thì mình có thể là bật mic lên hoặc là mình chat tiếng Anh hay tiếng Việt cũng được ạ. Thì các anh chị hãy đặt ra các câu hỏi thật là khó cho anh ấy vào ạ. Vâng, với cái câu hỏi vừa rồi thì các anh chị chắc là nghe cũng nắm được rồi đúng không ạ? Thì các cái thông tin mình sẽ cần khi mà chuẩn bị tìm hiểu về một cái LMS thì theo như Alex thì chúng ta sẽ cần về các cái đặc thù về user bao gồm cả số lượng, rồi cấu trúc phân quyền, sau đó các cái chủ đề đào tạo là gì và quan trọng nhất là mình phải xác định được xem là cái kết quả đầu ra mình mong muốn đo đạc mình cần những cái gì. Thì từ những cái đấy là mình mới quay ngược lại để xác định các cái tính năng mà mình sẽ cần tìm kiếm. Dạ rồi em thấy có thêm các câu hỏi của các anh chị ở trong phần chat, em nhường mic lại cho chị Ly ha.
Dạ. Cảm ơn Tùng. Hi Alex, you have
Yep.
new the system
Yeah.
yeah, in the chat box you can see the
Yes.
have future forecast or success for learner instructor should change the learning roadmap based on actual learner process. Thì ở đây
Yep.
dạ, chị Dung đúng không ạ? Sorry, chị Dung, chị đang muốn hỏi rằng là thì với hệ thống này thì có tính năng dự báo hoặc là gợi ý cho người học và cho người học không, và có nên thay đổi cái lộ trình dựa trên dựa trên cái tiến độ thực tế của người học không ạ? Thì đây là câu hỏi của chị Dung ạ. Okay, Alex, please answer her.
Yep. So this is a really good question, and this is something that people are uh, heavily starting to request. So we are looking into adding something like this once we move over to the new interface within the near future. So um, as it is now, it may have certain courses on the learner dashboard with the new interface that say don't miss. So they may want to look out for certain courses. However, we are looking into something, I believe, with AI that will be able to, request certain courses like this, because this is something that's becoming more and more popular. So we are looking into this at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Chị Dung ơi, như Alex vừa có chia sẻ ạ, thì là họ vẫn đang cân nhắc xem là có thể là sẽ có những cái tính năng về việc rằng là mình chuyển sang giao diện mới để nó có thể thể hiện một cái số khóa học nhất định ở trên cái thanh công cụ ấy ạ. Với những cái giao diện mới đấy thì người học có thể nhìn thấy những cái nội dung mà họ không thể bỏ lỡ được ở trong cái phần những cái khóa học mà họ cần phải học ạ. Thì sẽ có một số những cái khóa học mà được gọi là được chú ý lên để học viên có thể nhìn thấy những cái khóa học mà họ cần phải học ạ. Dạ.
Em nghĩ câu hỏi của chị Dung là liên quan tới cái tính năng mà hệ thống có thể tự động dựa trên cái dữ liệu có sẵn của học viên ấy, để gợi ý xem là họ nên học cái chương trình gì, chứ nó không phải chỉ là ở cái phần mà mình sẽ cài đặt hiển thị cho học viên đó chị. Nó kiểu là automatic suggestion ấy.
Okay.
Dạ không biết có đồng ý chị Dung không chị? Tức là chị đang hỏi về cái phần mà nó mang tính chất kiểu nó khá là AI đúng không? Dựa trên các cái dữ liệu của học viên để mình đưa ra thêm các cái gợi ý, ví dụ như là bạn đang là sale chẳng hạn, xong rồi bạn học khóa này thì bây giờ bạn sẽ cần phải học lên khóa này đúng không ạ? Ok. Hey Alex, the question of Miss Dung is about the the suggestion feature that based on the learning data of a student, that the LMS can suggest the student the learning map, the learning roadmap for the learner. For example, the student is a sale and he has joined about 3 courses of sale in telesales, and the LMS can predict which course is suitable for them to upgrade their sales skills. Is your current talent LMS can have this feature?
Yeah, this is something we're looking into at the moment. We don't have this feature right now. So as things progress, this is something that we may add in the future because we know it's something that people currently are after.
Dạ. Ok chị Dung ơi, ý của anh đấy là hiện tại thì cái tính năng này là nó cũng chưa có thực sự là hỗ trợ được đâu, nhưng mà bên họ thì cũng đang phát triển các cái tính năng mang tính chất là kiểu cá nhân hóa cho người học hơn ấy. Đó thì ý của anh đấy là như thế nhá, em không biết có chắc đúng từng từ không, nhưng mà kiểu như vậy. Ok. Ok, thank you chị Dung, các thông tin rất là hay. Thực sự trong cái thế giới về LMS này thì tính năng nó rất là vô cùng. Và chúng ta sẽ có rất nhiều các cơ hội để chúng ta có thể là trải nghiệm những cái hệ thống ở cả trong và ngoài nước, và ngay Việt Nam mình cũng có rất nhiều hệ thống cũng rất là hay, cũng như là ở trên thế giới. Thì qua những chương trình như này thì Tùng cũng muốn các anh chị có thêm nhiều các cái góc nhìn khác nhau để biết là ở trên thế giới người ta cũng đang sử dụng các hệ thống như nào, và trong nước mình cũng đang như thế nào, để mình có thêm nhiều ờ, các cái trải nghiệm, đúng không ạ? Dạ vâng, mời các anh chị khác ạ. Hiện tại là 9 giờ 5 phút ạ. Vừa rồi Tùng thấy chị Phương có bật mic, không biết chị Phương có muốn chia sẻ gì không ạ? Hay ấn nhầm thôi ạ?
Chị đang định có một câu hỏi. Chị xin phép có một
Chị
câu
hỏi đi
hỏi được
ạ.
không Tùng?
Vâng ạ.
Ừ.
Dạ chị hỏi tiếng Anh luôn
Ờ,
được.
ok, sorry là vì chị đang ở ngoài nên là chị cũng không tiện bật cam nhá. Hello Alex, I'm Phương from the Cbank, the Southeast Asia Commercial Bank, a local bank in Vietnam. Firstly, thank you very much for your presentation. I'm really, really impressed it. And I'm really enjoy the presentation from the representative from Thailand LMS, one of the very big name. So I have a question for you. Actually, this is not about the feature, but no, with your experience, do you have any advice for the L&D or for training department in any organization or enterprises, so that they can balance between the expectation of the L&D team and the expectation of the learners, how to balance? Because I hear all the comments and the and your answer for the questions above, and I think that sometimes we try to look at the or expect from the LMS system with the view of the learners. We focus on the learner experience. At the same time, we expect a lot from the view of the L&D people, like the report, like the tracking data, or something like that. So how to balance with your experience? Because with my personal experience, I've run 2 projects to set up the LMS for Cbank. And Cbank has over 5,000 employees. And in that project, we really struggle with how to balance the expectation. Yeah, so from the L&D and employees, the learners. So do you have any advice for us?
Is there, like, when you're saying the expectation of the learner, for example, do they have a specific expectation or feedback that they're giving you?
Sorry, I cannot
Is
hear you.
there, yeah, you're talking about expectations with the learner and things like this. Is there certain feedback that the learners are giving you, or certain things that they expect, for example?
Yes. What I mean is that the expectation for the like how to improve the learner experience. Yeah, like a
Okay.
suggestion. Yeah, such as.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for clarifying that. So, of course, one of the ways that you can always improve the learner experience is with instructional design. So you can always create certain types of content that is, of course, visually appealing and all of this to the learner. You can also mix in different types of learning. So blended learning is such as tests and assignments and different things like this, because a learner, they don't want to do the same thing over and over. And we also have some features that really make it so learning is more like a collaboration amongst the learners. So we have things like gamification. So they earn certain points for, let's say, logging in or completing a test or completing a course, and they can see themselves on a leaderboard and things like that. And we also have discussions. So this is a way for learners to collaborate together and discuss different things about the course, and figure out what do other people think about the course, and then that gives them an opportunity to, let's say, relate to the other learners as well. So I would say these are some of the things that you can do. So just let me know if I answered your question, if that was helpful for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just want to share with you and all the audience that sometimes we as the L&D people, we always try to bring the best to our learners, but sometimes what we think that it's the best, but it's not the best for the learners. Yeah, from the learner's view, yeah. So with the certain budget and with the certain even the also we also have the expectation from the management board, for example. Yeah, and we always have to try to improve the ROI with the to the BOM. So that's why, yeah, if we focus a lot to the learners experience, so that they have fun, they have have to enjoy their each course, and they have to compete with each other, they have the learning community on the LMS, etc. It's really, really good. But sometimes we will lose the way or lose the direction in terms of the implementation of the L&D plan or strategy, and sometimes we have to improve the ROI to the BOM. So yeah, that's just I want to share with you and the audience. Yes.
No, thanks for sharing. Yeah, thanks for sharing, because an important point of that too is each organization, when they start using a solution such as this, the L&D department or the management or whatever, they should have specific goals. So whether that's ROI or to complete a certain amount of courses or have a certain level of engagement. So if you are part of the L&D team, of course, then you could show management, like, look, here's the numbers that we're getting, from the reports in the system, and it does seem to be working and things like that. So that's another important point.
Yeah, thank you, Alex.
We have new question. Mình có câu hỏi từ chị Dung ạ. Alex, please answer her about learner experience. How about talent card system can help?
Yeah, so talent cards, it's going to be more for the specific use case is for deskless workers. So we understand that many people that are actually working, so let's say in retail locations or something like this, they may not have access to a laptop or a computer. So they can do bite-sized micro-learning. It's for really reinforcement. So one of our largest customers is a elevator company that trains all their maintenance people. So people that are on the go and they need to do bite-sized learning as they go to reinforce certain concepts that, let's say, are important to the job. So if your organization, of course, has a lot of deskless workers that meets this specific need, I would say talent cards would be, very good for you.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Is the next question. How many language this LMS support? Is it able auto caption Vietnamese video or auto translate to Vietnamese content?
It does. It supports quite a few languages: English, Spanish, German, French, Italian. It does support Vietnamese. So that is possible. Any auto captions and things like this would need to come with the, let's say, the content that you've created. It's not something that we would create within the system. However, the system does support Vietnamese. So of course that would be, a good thing. So.
Okay, thank you. Hiện tại thì hệ thống chỉ mới đang hỗ trợ một vài ngôn ngữ thôi ạ, như là có tiếng Anh, tiếng Đức, tiếng Pháp, tiếng Ý ạ, và tiếng Tây Ban Nha. Và cái gọi là cái caption tự động ạ, thì họ có và chỉ hiện tại thì cái nội dung thì vẫn đang được cái caption tự động này vẫn đang được tạo ra, và họ thì đang chưa hỗ trợ cho tiếng Việt. Dạ. Đó.
Ok, các anh chị ơi, bây giờ là 9 giờ 16 phút và chúng ta cũng đã vượt qua cái thời lượng kế hoạch là khoảng 16 phút rồi. Tùng cũng biết rằng các anh chị hôm nay cũng rất nhiệt tình và cũng còn rất nhiều các cái câu hỏi khác. Vậy nên là Tùng xin phép là sẽ dành thêm 4 phút còn lại cho 1 đến 2 câu hỏi cuối cùng, hoặc là chúng ta sẽ vẫn lưu lại các cái câu hỏi của các anh chị và mình sẽ đưa lên trên nhóm Vietnam EdTech Hub và mình trả lời trên đấy ạ. Thì các anh chị thấy sao ạ? Vì hôm nay cũng tối thứ 6 ấy, nên Tùng cũng không muốn sẽ bị lẹm nhiều vào thời gian của các anh chị. Ok, có vẻ như là mọi người cũng sẽ theo cái hướng thứ hai đó chị Ly ơi, tức là có lẽ là mình cũng sẽ kết thúc chương trình theo đúng kế hoạch, và mình sẽ có thêm những cái post để mọi người có thể tổng hợp các câu hỏi ở trên nhóm Vietnam EdTech Hub của mình, và em cũng sẽ invite Alex vào trong nhóm Facebook để có gì mọi người sẽ tương tác trực tiếp ở trên đấy ạ. Thì xin được nhờ ban tổ chức là gửi giúp cái đường link của nhóm Vietnam EdTech Hub để tất cả các anh chị, những ai mà chưa biết đến hoặc là chưa có join nhóm thì có thể là vào, và trên đấy thì mình cũng sẽ tương tác cùng với nhau, đúng không ạ? Hôm nay thì cũng khá là muộn, 9 giờ 17 và cuối tuần nhiều chị đang chuẩn bị cho con đi ngủ, còn nhiều anh thì cũng đang tranh thủ từ quán bia về, nên là chúng ta cũng sẽ không để ảnh hưởng nhiều tới thời gian cá nhân của các anh chị ạ, vì còn rất nhiều chương trình khác nữa. Dạ, nhờ Liên gửi giúp anh cái đường link nhá. Ok. Hey Alex, is 9:17 p.m. and about 17 minutes over from the duration expectation. And I think that we will have many other questions, but we can discuss on the Facebook group. And can you join our group? That in the link that Miss Liên had checked in the chat box. And I think thank you very much for your sharing today. We have many information and we have a great experience with Thailand LMS. Hope that many L&D in Vietnam will have the opportunity to experience the LMS. Yeah. Các anh chị nào quan tâm thì cũng có thể là sử dụng một cái bản demo full tính năng mà nãy Liên cũng có gửi. Thực ra thì Tùng cũng chia sẻ, Amber vừa là đối tác và cũng là vừa là đơn vị đang, nó gọi là gì, affiliate. Đó, nên anh chị ấn vào cái đường link đấy thì nó là cái đường link affiliate của Amber đấy ạ. Thì Amber cũng sẽ được một vài cái credit, còn và đương nhiên cùng với đấy sẽ có một số chính sách riêng từ phía thị trường Việt Nam cũng sẽ là gửi tặng tới các anh chị. Còn nếu anh chị đăng ký trực tiếp ở trên website của Thailand LMS thì cũng không sao cả, nhưng mà có thể thời gian để process ra nó cũng sẽ lâu hơn. Đó, 1 phút cho quảng cáo, đúng 1 phút. Thì cảm ơn các anh chị, nếu mọi người muốn trải nghiệm thử thì cứ ấn vô cái đường link đó ha. Và nếu anh chị có câu hỏi nào thì chúng ta cũng có thể là sẽ nhắn lên và comment trong cái bài post tổng hợp câu hỏi mà tối nay Tùng cũng sẽ đăng ở trong nhóm Việt Nam EdTech Hub. Một lần nữa thì rất là cảm ơn các anh chị rất nhiều. Tối thứ Sáu là một ngày rất đặc biệt cuối tuần, ngày làm việc cuối tuần và mọi người vẫn đang dành rất nhiều thời gian cho chương trình, thì cảm ơn các anh chị đã ở lại đến tận cuối giờ ngày hôm nay. Thì hẹn gặp lại các anh chị trong một webinar tiếp theo với những phần quà cũng rất đặc biệt khác từ các đối tác của cộng đồng mình. Cảm ơn các anh chị và hẹn gặp lại. Thank you Alex. Thank you
Thanks
everyone.
everyone. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cảm ơn các anh chị nha. Chúc mọi người ngủ ngon. Good night everybody.
Very good night. Enjoy the weekend.
Yeah. Hey Alex, do you have a Facebook account?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's join our group. Yeah. Welcome to Vietnam EdTech Hub. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have the link, so I'll check it in a bit and
Yeah.
go from there.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for your sharing today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
we will keep in touch on email, of course, and we can have early next week we can
Yeah.
debrief and
Yeah.
discuss it. So
Yeah. Thank you.
All
I
right.
think I will end the meeting now. Thank you everybody. Good
All right,
night.
perfect.
Yeah.
Bye bye.